Hello, hello there. My name is Moy with my co-host Corey. We are The Real Guys, and this is The Real Show with 2 E's. Corey, are you ready for a clucking good time?
You know what? I am. But I'm not 100% ready yet.
All right, okay.
I've got one thing.
Okay. Oh dear, I think I just glimpsed it from... He's struggling to take his headphones off. It's caught in his glasses. Great start.
It's Aardman slapstick fever.
Yeah, Aardman slapstick.
All planned.
He's now going to whack it on. He's lowering his seat like Johnny English, getting under the desk. I can't see him anymore. It's really helpful. Oh, amazing.
That's better.
Ah, look at that. You're like Feathers McGraw.
Yeah. I'm now, for the radio listeners, wearing this chicken hat here made by Ebony.
Yes, wearing a hat with a chicken on it.
Correct.
Amazing.
I'm now ready for chicken one.
As always, I'm with my co-host Corey. How are you doing today, Corey?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Yeah, now that you're wearing your chicken hat.
Yes.
And as always, you can listen to us on Amazon, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcasts. We're there, any audio platform that you use, or you can watch our video version on our YouTube channel, The Real Show, Real with 2 E's. Corey, Chicken Run 2, long awaited, Dawn of the Nugget. We've spent many an hour discussing the first film.
We have.
And there's a review for the people that want to listen to that. You can go out and find it. This is the sequel. We said we'd do it. It's 2023. Last year, not only is this our first episode of 2024, well, first in-studio episode of 2024, it's also quite a monumental occasion. The first Chicken Run was lauded by a lot of people. Everyone enjoyed it. Now Aardman are back. They've got a new logo. Mm-hmm. Have you noticed that? They've got a fancy new logo in the credits.
I did indeed.
They've got a fancy new logo. They give us a recap of the first film at the start.
Yep. And
despite the fact there's been some controversy around the release of this film, we'll get to that in a moment, it's a film that's gotten good reviews from people. So, first of all, Corey, for this UK film, which actually premiered for the BFI on my birthday on the 14th of October, so
very
happy
nice.
birthday to me, it came out, and then it was released on Netflix on the 15th of December, 2023. So, Corey, what was your experience with not only the first Chicken Run film from 2000, but now this sequel?
I, in all fairness, thought that this was very good for the most part. We watched the trailer on the last time we did this for Chicken Run 1. Chicken Run 1, as we reviewed, fantastic film. Both really enjoyed it. Both gave it high. I was fine with Chicken Run being a solo film.
Standalone film. That was the plan for most people.
Yeah, I was like, it's fine.
Yeah, the engineers at Aardman were they were tired.
Yeah,
they'd done a full stop motion film. It takes them an entire day to do what, 4 seconds? Is it 6 seconds? And no, I think it's even 2. I think it's lower than that. I think it's about 2 seconds.
Yeah,
they take an entire 12 hours work day to do 2 seconds of work. And then Jeffrey Katzenberger would turn up at the end of the week and go, "How much have you got for me?"
Yeah,
7 seconds.
Yeah.
Of what? This 98-minute film, right? That's why their partnership with DreamWorks didn't work. But now they're back because they agreed it's the best time to continue the story. 2023 going on 2024. It's this was reported all the way back in 2018, so a long time there. What were we even doing then?
Not this.
Not this exactly. But now we are, which gives us the perfect platform to review Chicken Run 2, Dawn of the Nugget. Quite the title.
Correct. But, in all fairness, this film, as a sequel, I think, fits the story quite well.
Let's go into the biggest controversy of this film.
Go on.
And that is, of course, the change in voice cast.
Yeah.
Now, this was highly debated among people. There's many a video essay out there about it. Zachary Levi replaces Mel Gibson. Fair enough. Obviously, Mel Gibson's swamped in controversy.
Yes.
So, best not to touch him with a barge pole. However, the strange adaptation was changing and bringing Thandie Newton to do Ginger rather than the original actress. So that was quite the large controversy there that sparked up on the internet. I'm sure that the original actress probably felt quite slighted. I remember that there was she released an email rather exposingly of Netflix telling her that she was too old, which of course is quite damaging to not only the reputation of, I don't want to get her last name wrong, Julia Sawala?
Yep.
I don't want to get that wrong. All respect to Julia Sawalha, because she re-recorded her original lines from Chicken Run, and they were perfect.
Yep.
They sounded great. There's a video out there of that, of her doing her old lines again now, today, and she can do it just fine. So why? Even then, with a voice cast, of course, it's not a perfect representation. Obviously, Thandie Newton does a decent job because she's a good actress. She does a decent job with the material she's given, but it just felt like, at times, you could tell that it wasn't like, Thandie Newton, she's not Northern, bless her. So I feel like there's a level of, in fact, that I went into this film knowing that the voice cast isn't going to be the same. Of course, some people do come back.
There's a couple.
Yeah, some people do come back. They replaced the voices of Nick and Fetch with Daniel Mays and Ramesh Ranganathan, who I feel like do a slightly better job than the first film. Probably because I like Daniel Mays and Ramesh Ranganathan. They're a good team. And David Bradley replaces the previous voice actor for Fowler because the previous voice actor passed away, unfortunately. So Benjamin Withrow has passed away since 2023.
Yep.
So we've got David Bradley, who does a great job as well. I love David Bradley. And the original voice for Babs comes back as well as... I think the original voice for Bunty, but I don't know if Imelda Staunton did it in the first film.
According to the IMDb,
yes, she did.
Babs, Bunty, Mac, and Miss Tweedy are all
Babs,
original.
Bunty, Mac, and Miss Tweedy all return for this film, which is absolutely great. And we've got new chicken as well, Frizzle.
Frizzle's here.
Who's voiced by Josie Sedgwick Davies, who does a great, has a great and recognisable voice.
Yep.
I'm happy that she's in this film. I quite like Frizzle as a new character.
Frizzle's good.
Keep her around. Yeah.
Keep her around? Like, they're going to do more?
Yeah, they're going to do more. Yeah, Chicken Run 3. Got to keep her in it.
Chicken Run TV show.
My one problem with the replacing of the voices is they add the new voices in the old clips of the film. Did you notice that?
Something didn't quite...
When they do a recap of the first Chicken Run, like, remember Chicken Run 2000, they edit the new voices in. And that was noticeable to me because I can remember the first Chicken Run film pretty much off the back of my hand because I've seen it so many times, and you can tell that there's a difference in the voices. You really can.
Yeah.
I said it here. It's impressions almost, but they get impressions. You get the chicken puns are back.
Yep.
You like I noted down some of my favourites, like foul play.
Yeah, nice.
Like egg explosion.
Yeah.
Great. They mess around a lot with popcorn in this film.
They do mess around with popcorn.
They love a bit of popcorn.
It's, what was it? What was it? Something of life, they kept calling it.
What, is to have popcorn?
Yeah. Rocky was like when he showed it to Molly for the first time. Yeah.
And let's talk about Molly, the daughter of Ginger and Rocky.
Correct.
Voiced by Bella Ramsey, who many people will know now from The Last of Us. So great for her. I'm glad she's having some success.
Yep.
There are loads of chickens in the Chicken Island.
Yes. And
there is a whole haven they've made for themselves. And there's just so many chickens popping around. They've got to camouflage the island. Because Ginger's worried that she's made this great paradise, but it's like a prison for her daughter who just wants to leave the island.
Yes.
So it's almost like she's made that sort of confinement in the same way that she felt confined in the first film.
Yes.
It's a thematic parallel there. It's like poetry.
Yep.
It rhymes. Each stanza kind of rhymes with the next.
Ginger and Rocky have looked out, and Molly has as well. And there's a little truck going around.
Truck going around, yeah.
It's got a chicken in a bucket on it.
Happy Farms.
Yeah, Happy Farms. Got a chicken in a bucket. And Molly's like, oh, wow, it's so much fun. I want to go do that.
Yes, exactly. So Babs says in the most Scouser chicken accent that you can, you get to sit in a bucket.
Yeah.
Or is it Frizzle? It's one of them.
Frizzle says it.
Frizzle says, you get to sit in a bucket. And I'm like, you do get to sit in a bucket.
Yeah.
They camouflage the island, and Fowler pops up with his camouflage. Great moment
Little
there.
bush.
He's got a camouflage bush. He hides in the bush. He pops out next to Rocky, and he says, I'm having a camouflage lesson at noon, if you can find me.
Yeah.
And then it's like he's camouflaged during the lesson. It's like, where is he? Where's Fowler? He's the lesson, because he's the bush in the background.
He is.
Hiding in the bush. Then David, I really like David Bradley. He's fantastic. Walder Frey, the first Doctor, he does amazingly.
Yeah, he's definitely a good film.
When they uncover the chicken factory,
yes,
There's a lot of jokes in this film.
There is.
But when they actually get to the serious part of this is like a serious threat to us, this massive new chicken factory on this mountain, like this Bond villain lair they've found of a chicken factory.
Yep.
No one makes a joke. And I'm like, that's good. Because they can hold on the serious moments when it's necessary.
Yep.
Like, chickens get murdered in the first one.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we see chicken decapitation. Sorry for the graphic description. Sorry, Ofcom. Chicken decapitation and all that kind of thing. It's pretty graphic.
Yep.
In this one, they don't necessarily
Not
tone it down.
quite.
It feels a bit more actiony.
Yeah.
Like they've got mini robots in the floor, the chicken factory defences. They've got like laser ducks, I think they're called, who explode. Or I don't know if they fire missiles or they explode.
Yeah. I mean, you get moments.
Yeah, they fire darts and stuff, and there's like ordnance, things like that.
You get moments, because there's a bit with the collar where the first chicken goes and gets turned into the nuggets. Yeah.
What a lucky ducky! Bye, wherever they go.
And then it's like, oh, well, they've gone now.
They've gone now. They go up the escalator.
Here's the bucket.
And here's the bucket of nicely warmed chicken nuggets.
Yeah. Very nice.
And then he starts eating them.
He does.
That guy just starts eating that chicken that we've seen a minute ago.
It has moments.
Molly escapes the island.
She does. She goes, you know what? I want to go over
Frizzle,
there.
and she goes over to the factory, and it's up to Ginger and the team to assemble a squad and take on this new chicken factory, run by Mrs. Tweedy.
Correct. But not
Dr.
Mr.
Fry, not Mr. Tweedy. These chickens, I really miss Mr. You know who the character I miss? Mr. Tweedy.
Yeah.
These chickens are revolting. yeah, I love it. I didn't do alt on all the classic lines, right?
Yeah.
I hope maybe he had a cameo or something. I don't know if he got caught, but I really like him.
Yeah.
Did he die? Did he not? He didn't die in the first one, did he?
Did he not get put in the thing?
No, she got put in the thing.
Oh, she got put in the thing. What happened?
I think he was fine. Did he get crushed by that wall? Because the wall of the barn fell over. I think he survived.
Here comes
So they have to
research.
get into the factory. Molly's already in there.
Yeah.
All the chickens are having collars put on them, like electric collars, and they don't have collars put on them, Frizzle and Molly, because they're friends. They go in, and in 32 minutes into the film, it just turns into a Clockwork Orange. And you see all these chickens that are effectively being kept happy by the collars.
Yep.
And are just so dumb. They're being mouths of stuff full of food. They're on rides that go nowhere.
Yes.
They're walking up and nothing. There was one chicken that was continually walking into the wall.
Yeah.
In the background, because I like to look at the background extras and see what the background extras are doing. We should make that a segment. But one of them is just walking in a straight line into the wall over and over again. He's banging on the wall again. I'm like, that's really good. And even the chicken that gets chosen, for a frame, if you watch that clip back, because I have, for a frame, you can see its face just kind of like twist into this weird kind of fearful frown.
Yeah.
Well, that's good attention to detail. The fact that it's kind of trying to like fight the control of it's been chosen, but it can't. And I'm such a lucky ducky. Whee! Over the sunrise, right?
Yeah.
It's very also ironic that they go up a sunrise.
Correct.
Exactly. We just turned it to 1984 because they've got all the cameras are watching them, and Dr. Fry is there? No, she's called Dr. Fry.
Correct.
To put on, fried chicken.
Why not?
Dr. Fry, he's there, and he wears this massive chicken costume like Five Nights at Freddy's to pop up and take the chicken.
Yeah, well, he's got to put a collar on Frizzle and Molly because they haven't got
one. In his like Freddy Fazbear suit and grabs them, but he's got to meet the new investor.
Correct.
Who's there? Because he wants to buy. Because apparently these are set in like the 1960s, if or something like that.
Right. Okay.
Apparently.
Sure.
And the chicken nugget was invented in 1950. Because I know these things. And it's about mass production of like fast food. Because she says, Mrs. Tweedy says, people want their food fast and they want it now. And they go, oh, well, yeah, they do. It's 2023. But this film isn't contemporary. This film was set in like the 1960s because it's. Yes, it is a parody of Mission Impossible, but the first one was a parody of The Great Escape, which is the World War II film.
Yes. But no.
But it's got Mr. Smith, who's the owner of Sir Eat-A-Lot chain of restaurants.
Yes, as Mr. Fry keeps calling him, Sir Eat-A-Lot. Keeps
calling Sir Eat-A-Lot, but he goes, no, that's just the name of the restaurant. And it's Peter Serafinowicz, who is Darth Maul.
Correct.
He is. At last we'll reveal ourselves to the Jedi. At last we'll have revenge. Revenue. With chicken. That's what Mrs. Tweedy says. She says, I'll have my revenge. Revenue.
Yeah. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Everyone.
Chicken nuggets.
Chicken. At last we'll reveal ourselves to the chickens. At last we'll have nuggets. Got to get our impression. It's 2024, you've got to bring the impressions back. Gotta bring the impressions back.
Can someone just get Darth Maul
It's-
shouting nuggets instead of Kenobi, please?
Kenobi Nuggets. Then, and Mrs. Tweedy is the shot where she walks down the stairs. What a shot that is!
Yeah.
Where it goes, imagine I've tried to animate that. You know,
There's-
the foot leaving the first step, going on to the next step.
There's a behind the scenes.
Yeah, 20 minutes behind the scenes video if you've watched
And
that as
they
well.
mentioned that.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like they had to change, like every time she takes a step, they have to change the lighting to make sure she's always lit from behind.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
She's walking in a circle.
And how and just the look of the look of the sort of the stop motion plasticity
Yep.
and the claymation. One of Aardman's touches is it feels like it's not perfect, but it's done on purpose. Because with CGI, it's all sheeny and shiny and whatever.
Hello, flushed away.
But with exactly. But with huzzah, a man of quality. It's the kind of, you can see people's fingerprints on them. You can see like the thumbprints.
Yeah, it's
obviously
like,
the motion's seamless because that's how it's done.
Yeah.
But it's like that Wallace and Gromit kind of feeling to it.
I was going to say, it's like, Wallace needs a shaped head.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, just to put it out there, have you gone back and watched like the wrong trousers for the weird
Yeah,
look of how that looks?
I've watched. I know. What I watched was A Grand Day Out because it
Yeah.
came out on TV over Christmas. They showed A Grand Day Out, and I watched it, and I was like, my goodness, this looks. Not only does it look old,
Yeah.
sorry, Wallace and Gromit, Grand Day Out, but it looks so sort of crudely made.
Yeah.
But it's still charming. You know, he goes, we forgot the crackers, Gromit, and he goes into this thing, and there's a shot of it where he opens the cupboard, and you see his face. I'm like, my goodness, that looks horrifying.
Yeah.
Because he's got a flat clay face with the big ears,
Yeah.
and
It's weird because in my head it looks like how it looks now.
yeah, it looks
But it
fine.
does- but it
Yeah, it looks
doesn't.
good. It looks like how like Curse of the Were-Rabbit looks.
Yeah, but it's like no.
No, it doesn't. It shows, but no, it shows their improvement as well.
Yeah.
Good on Aardman. I really do love Aardman. I know we're kind of saying, oh, his face looks so flat and weird, but that's just Aardman's charm.
Yeah.
These are just some guys out of Bristol, and I'm really happy with what Aardman's done here.
Yeah. Also, with like stop motion and stuff, if you're someone like Aardman who's like pioneered it, you're gonna look a bit rough
Exactly.
at the start.
I mean, yeah, and another thing that Aardman's done that I'm really happy with was their thing for Star Wars Visions. We talked about that as well.
Yeah.
The Star Wars Visions short, that was so cool as well. You could tell the sort of Aardman touches on that. They've got an art style, and that Aardman claymation art style, even with Early Man, even with not Flushed Away, not the greatest stuff we've seen. We may be flushed away at some point because we quite like the Aardman catalogue and we're going through it
We are.
slowly but surely.
Also, nice to see the rats return.
Yeah, the
in,
rats return.
Nugget.
Yeah,
Very
Nick
nice.
and Fetch, they do good as well. But speaking of Wallace and Gromit, a character from Wallace and Gromit does appear in this.
I assume I know where you're going
That
with this.
is Feathers McGraw.
Correct.
He's at the end.
He is.
They all pop up to help rescue all the chickens, and Feathers McGraw is there in the background
Yeah.
with his chicken hat on,
Yeah.
and he kind of disappears behind the bush in the background. I didn't notice him because I was looking at the front of the screen.
Yeah, neither did I.
But I saw sort of one of those Easter egg clips. Easter egg clips where you see Feathers McGraw. He should have his gun. That's what he should do. Threaten chicken farmers with his gun. Just pull his pistol out. Like Rocky threatens Gromit. Gromit's got the rolling pin. As only Feather McGraw just pulls out a revolver. You should do that to humans. So funny. Because that's what happens to Mrs. Tweedy. Not that she gets shot.
No.
But she falls into. I thought they'd killed her off.
Yeah.
Because it's ironic for her to be pushed into, because there's this processing centre is what they do is.
Yes.
Because they have this very Jurassic Park-esque kind of presentation, don't they? But they go at Happy Chicken Farm. You can learn all about that. What's his name? Little Timmy is unhappy with his chicken.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, Mum, this chicken tastes horrible, and now I hate you.
Yeah.
And she's like, ah. But now at Happy Chicken Farm, where all chickens are happy. Because I imagine the point is to make chickens happy. They release endorphins and serotonin and stuff like that. And like happy emotion, happy chemicals. And the happy chemicals go into the chicken, making the chicken taste amazing. That's the thinking behind it, the evil plan. And they have a Jurassic Park parody presentation. And Mr. Reginald Smith is really happy with this, and he wants to invest with. He's got the dip.
He does.
That didn't come back. Is that supposed to be something?
It's sweet and sour.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming it's like another like McDonald's kind of
McDonald's
nod.
kind of sauce. Yeah. But she goes, because Mrs. Tweedy loves to be married.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Oh, are you going to? Oh, Reginald. Oh, you shouldn't have. Oh, I'm going to marry me." And he goes, "It's the dip."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, yes, the dip for the nuggets." And don't those? I know breadcrumbs. Obviously, they're not fried nuggets.
Yep.
They're breadcrumb nuggets.
Yep.
Which, have you ever had a breadcrumb nugget before? I bet you must have.
I have. Yeah.
I've had a tempura batter nugget, like a breadcrumb nugget. It's they've got to stay their shape. They can get quite crumbly. I remember making nuggets in cookery class in school.
Oh yeah, a bit of catering.
Yeah, bit catering. I did a bit of catering. I did breadcrumb nuggets as well. Some people did a fried nugget. One kid had some oil in a pan, and he was frying his nuggets. And I was like, try hard.
What? Our school wouldn't even let us do anything like that.
No, really?
We couldn't fry anything.
Oh no, we had a nice catering. Hobbs. We had nice catering.
Well, yeah, we had Hobbs and stuff, but we tried nah, they wouldn't let us.
Oh no, they had it was like flash frying, I guess.
Right. Okay.
You put the oil in the pan.
Yeah.
You stir the oil around, then you put your chicken in. That was quite cool actually to watch. Even though I was like, he's gonna get good on that. I had just breadcrumb. There's me, kind of gently breadcrumbing my nuggets with flour and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like, Eston Blumenthal. I'm like, Dr. Fry.
Yeah.
Dr. Fry frying his nuggets up. There's a Wilhelm scream in this.
There is. I noticed that.
Always ah! Amazing.
Why not?
They do have a cloud airship.
Yeah.
Fowler's escape plan is to escape the factory.
Because he's the
escape driver.
So he just talks for Slug for the whole film.
Sweet. He bores the Slug, and the Slug can't get away because he's too slow. Because he's trying to get away, and Fowler's still talking. And his plan is to hide in a cloud, fly all the way up to the top of the factory, stay there in the cloud, and then fly all the way down. And they've got good security on this factory. They've got security guards patrolling the place. It's like Metal Gear Solid. They've got to sneak in to enter the factory and to save Molly and save all the other chickens.
Yes.
Because their initial plan is just to save Molly.
Correct.
But then they realise all these chickens are suffering. We've got to save them as well.
Yeah.
From the processing centre with that big funnel, the big red funnel, and the battle at the end,
Yeah.
And Mrs. Tweed's got an axe.
She does.
Same axe that she used to kill those chickens back in the farm.
Correct.
And now she's got to fight Ginger with the axe. I thought they were going to, have the axe hit her and have her fall into the vat, and then, she becomes a big nugget. But
I mean, kind of.
Just like, but she survives.
She survives that one.
But she's she's like an immortal woman.
Yeah.
Invincible.
Well, this is the issue with Netflix and Disney films because when it happens, and she gets put in a machine and she comes out as a nugget. I'm like, you might, if you're watching it in the cinema, you might think, oh, it's near the end of the film.
Yeah.
You watch it on Netflix, you're like, I've got 15 minutes left.
Yeah, I guess.
That's not the end.
I know it's coming. Have you noticed the iPad that they use is spelled iPad?
Nice.
Funny. It's spelled IEYE pad, which I thought was funny as well. Little note there. And if you notice, chickens do get dizzy and confused quite easily.
They do.
Because it's quite easy to hypnotise a chicken. When you're walking by the road and you see chicken.
Yep.
It's quite easily to hypnotise a chicken and make it walk in circles or whatever. There's the phrase "headless chicken" means something.
Yes.
But they lean into the Mission Impossible parody. Rocky and Nick and Fetch get stuck in the ventilation shaft, so they have to avoid this large fan. And to do that, they have to kind of abseil down, very Mission Impossible style, to stop the fan and also escape. And then they also get put in a vat of corn. Oh no, sorry, popcorn. Put in a vat of corn for the corn nuggets, I guess.
I put popcorn chicken, maybe.
Popcorn
is that what they're
chicken,
going
with?
That?
Yeah, something like that. Popcorn chicken. And they use the firework because they carry fireworks to propel them.
Yes.
And the fireworks go off and they make a huge funnel of popcorn. Yep. There's a huge explosion. And they fly out with the popcorn. Ah, beautiful. And the chickens have it right because popcorn is nice.
It is very nice.
I wonder if that's a chicken reference. If chickens actually do like popcorn,
maybe. But no, because they're in the tunnel and we're like, oh, we need a match. Don't have one.
Yeah.
And then they go to who's the knitting?
Babs.
Yeah, they go to Babs. Good old Babs.
Yeah, Babs. Yeah.
Full of quips.
I've knitted her a bike. It's full of
quips.
Pipes, yeah.
They kind of do the. I don't want to be a pie. I don't like gravy.
Yeah,
I can't quite remember what she says.
Yeah.
But it's close.
I don't want to be a nugget. I don't know if she says that, but
I don't think so. I don't want to be a chicken nugget. I don't like ketchup.
Yeah.
It's not quite that. It's something like I don't want to go to a factory. I don't like. It's something like that. And then use a magnifying glass and up it goes.
Yeah.
and Dr. Fry's like, oh, one of the silos blown.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you shouldn't. I forgot what he says. At that point, I think he's given up.
Yeah, effectively. Well, he's got these buttons that control all the chickens.
Well, one turns the collar on and off.
Collars off. Yeah.
One targets a specific chicken.
And one turns all the chickens on the same. Because Mrs. Tweedy activates all the chickens to go to the processing centre.
Yeah, well, she turns them off first.
Yeah.
And then he's like, that's the wrong one.
Yeah.
And then she gives him the other one. And then it's got like the numbers on it where you can like click the number chicken, like 3, 5, 4, or all of them.
314, I think it was the number that went up initially. I was trying to look at the numbers. But I wonder if Corey will find out some more interesting numbers to tell us with some trivia.
Dangle, bobbity boo, trivia.
Dingle dangle, bobbity boo, trivia. Ooh, it's good to hear that jingle again, Corey. Welcome to trivia. Take us away.
Okay, so on trivia we have Feathers McGraw makes an appearance. That's up there. Here we go. What else we got? The final Aardman film to be using new clay products, plasticine. The factory that makes Aardman specialty clay since 1972 has been shut down as of March 2023. So whatever Aardman makes up next,
what an era!
It's going to be some new plasticine, some new stuff. To prevent the chicken puppets from having too much of a sheen on camera, each one had finely sifted icing sugar puffed into its surface, creating an even matte effect. There we go. Crushed walnut shells were used to create road surfaces, while the sole texture of the chicken village set was made from recycled fallen leaves from a Leylandi tree outside the studio. According to visual effects supervisor and executive producer Nick Park, stop motion animation used throughout the film was more complex than anything Aardman had ever done before. The prop created for the iPad gag includes names of real Aardman facilities crew members. Very nice. The film contains around 1,400 shots in total, only 28 of which are fully computer generated. The longest shot is the opening pan across Chicken Island, which is 784 frames, or 32.67 seconds. It took 80 working days to shoot the animation.
See, exactly. And Aardman's all about taking your time.
Yeah.
You got time, it took about 6 years probably to get the first film.
Yeah.
And then it took, around about as long to get this one as well.
Yeah. Also, a total of 119 sets were built for the production, along with 130 animatable props, including corn conveyor and a windmill.
Wow.
That's the thing with like stop motion and stuff. All the like little sets and the little like practical little pieces and bits and bobs and the creative ways you got to do stuff. It's one, genius, but also two, daunting as anything to do anything like that. Also, the second Aardman sequel released through streaming Netflix, although their first sequel was released theatrically in most countries. Very, very nice. Also, Wilhelm Scream 3438.
Oh! Amazing. I think it's one of the guards is
it's one of the guards,
disposed of. Yeah.
Anything else on here?
Anything other interesting trivia for us?
First sequel to a DreamWorks animation film without involvement of said studio.
Yep, and it's the first Aardman sequel after Shaun the Sheep.
Yes.
Farmageddon.
Correct. Have you seen it? I have not.
We can easily see it. I watched over the Christmas point. I watched the Shaun the Sheep sort of Christmas special, the Shaun the Sheep Christmas film.
Nice.
I think it's called like it's some kind of pun to do with the night before Christmas. I think it's called The Flight Before Christmas.
Right. Nice.
And it's about Timmy who gets stuck in a Christmas present, and they have to go and rescue him from like a kid's house.
Yeah. Here we go. Here's an interesting one for you.
Okay.
To finish us off. Mark Wahlberg, John Krasinski, Ryan Reynolds, Neil Patrick Harris, Will Ferrell, Channing Tatum, Brendan Fraser, Johnny Knoxville, sure, Ty Burrell,
are all going to be in Chicken Run 3?
John Hamm, Jason Bateman, Paul Rudd and Keanu Reeves were all considered to succeed Mel Gibson as the new voice of Rocky.
Just have all of them. Just have all of them.
Every scene someone else.
Yeah, every scene is someone else. Exactly, every scene is someone else's voice. And it's never addressed.
No.
And it's never addressed.
But no. I mean, also, like, with stuff like this, you're going to get a lot of trivia and behind-the-scenes stuff.
Yeah,
Again, little Netflix. I think it's on YouTube as well, the 20-minute behind-the-scenes.
Yeah, it is, actually. It is on YouTube. That's how I watched it.
Nice.
That's how I know. It is on YouTube. Yeah, there's a 20 minutes behind-the-scenes special. which really takes you into it. And to be honest, if that's not it's not my weekly rec.
Yeah.
But I'll add that as an extra.
Little
Go and
additional.
watch the behind the scenes at least. If you don't see the film, go and watch the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And directors, just mentioned the director Sam Feld does a great job.
Yep.
And it must be hard to direct a claymation film because you don't have any real actors and it's all done technically.
Yeah.
And voice acting is a very interesting art and it's fantastic. And I have all respect in the world for many eminent voice actors. So I think that the art of directing somewhat has to change for a stop motion film. I remember watching on YouTube. I remember watching, dinosaur stop motions and things like that. There's a great YouTube channel called Brotherhood Workshop, who you're probably familiar with, who do a lot of good Lego animations. But they also released like a fantasy film, which was also stop motion as well, like a full half-an-hour fantasy film. And I might recommend that as well. But no, I do have a weekly rec set in a few minutes' time.
Have you ever tried to do stop motion?
I have, yes,
Okay.
and I think I have because we've talked about this.
Yeah.
Inspired by, I'm going to have to end up telling this story, aren't I? Inspired by the stop motions that I saw from like dinosaurs who used to fight each other, I thought, I bet I could do that easy. So what I did was I went out, I bought some clay, I came back, I thought, right, I drew some models, I was all ready.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to start making them. So I made the model and it would just collapse. It would just like flop to the floor. It just wouldn't stand. Yeah. I couldn't have enough to bullshit. It was like, what am I doing wrong? Little did I know, I didn't realise that there's actually a wire mesh underneath the clay that is stable and that the clay is formed around.
Yeah, see, we had to do stop motion in college and they just went, here's some plasticine, and that was it.
Right.
And didn't give you wire. And you had to make like a 20, 30 second stop motion animation.
Okay.
So mine was just a big, like, bulky...
Plasticine blob.
Yeah, it was essentially
around.
like two balls.
Two balls?
It's like a snowman.
Snowman.
So I'm like, a ball, they're not going to squid you or anything. Great, cool. Yeah. And he does a forward roll and goes, way!
Forward roll and goes, way!
I believe I have that somewhere. If I do, I'll put it in the video.
Yeah, find it. You put it in there. The Plasticine Man that goes... What was the title of your film?
I don't even think I called it anything.
Plasticine Man that goes way, I think it should be called.
Yeah.
Probably.
But no, I didn't realise I had wire either.
No, exactly. Even though now I'd probably be better at it.
Yeah.
Even though the closest thing I did to something that was stop motion was we had to write a script in film studies in college, and you had to accompany it with like a shot-for-shot making of what that film would look like, right? Or like a section of it, because my script was like 20 pages, and I did. Here's the big shock. I did a Star Wars script about two Imperial officers in like a workhouse or something, and in like an office building, and I had to animate that. So instead I made like a set. I had lots of Lego Star Wars at the time. I still do. I made like the office building. I built it all up. I got little figures and I set them all in and for an animation, like he'd say that this character, I don't know, call him Jerry.
Nice.
Jerry waves over at James.
Okay.
And, I just moved Jerry's arm. Jerry waves over at James. Down he goes.
Nice.
Maybe move the head a little bit, and that's about it. But it's very hard. This is our point in saying that stop motion animation, yes, it takes a long time, and yes, it is also very hard to do.
Yes, it is.
And without support as well, it's endless days of moving things and taking pictures. Well, no, this is how Aardman work, right? I've seen them animate Gromit walking.
Yeah.
Well, you know how Gromit walks. He's a dog. He's got 4 legs.
Yep.
And you have to animate the first leg, move that little bit, picture.
Yeah.
Second leg, picture. And before you even moved any of the other legs, you've got to move the first leg, picture. And this takes several times. If we can get the leg up to a point where it is logical for the other legs to move. So move the other leg. Oh, there you go. Other leg. Oh, picture, yeah. And these are some high quality cameras.
Yeah.
These are some high quality cameras. There's equipment. There's all this takes. But it's beneficial for that you can have quite a limited crew. You can have, obviously there's like set designers and artists and people who work on the sound. Foley is great. All the noises of the chickens.
Yeah.
Even on the flat shiny floor of the factory, you can hear the chickens like pattering as they run, and that's really helpful to sort of get you into, to lean you into the story, and to kind of go, this, you're feeling the story now, and the chickens are on the mission, and you can hear Rocky running in that ventilation shaft. It helps you to believe the film a bit more.
Yeah. But no, overall, I would say this is actually a pretty decent sequel.
Let's drop in a rating, Corey. For Chicken Run Dawn of the Nugget.
So I enjoyed it. I thought this was a good time. I'm not like, oh, this shouldn't have been a sequel. This should have been a standalone. This sequel is okay enough to make me go, right, okay, fine. It's justifiable being a sequel. Mm-hmm. Granted, do I think it was like fantastic? Not really. For me, it's somewhere in the realm of like a 7, 70.5, that kind of area. Probably close to a 7.
I was going to give it an 8.
Ooh.
I quite like this film. Yeah, there are problems with it. There are things that I'd sort of change and shift and tweak. It's probably one of the better films that I've seen in the start of 2024.
Yeah.
So, the voices, yes, there are drawbacks to that. But it's clear that Aardman put as much work as they do normally into this. They've got a new logo,
yep.
you know. They're really trying to, bulk up for 2024. And I'm happy for them. I'm very proud to watch Aardman because it's like it's watching the little British engine that could,
Yeah.
It's like watching the studio that can really perform and show what makes Britain great. Is
Go on.
Is hard work and not doing much during the day.
Yeah.
That's what makes us great, Corey. Doing one little task for one day and then going back and doing exactly the same thing the next day.
Yeah.
To not much fanfare. And yeah, I'll finish that job. I'll finish it in 6 years.
Yeah.
That works out. But now it's time to go to bed,
Yep.
And then back up the next day for the next thing.
Yeah. But no, it is a really good film. And it's fun. It's what you want from Chicken Run.
It's got time, It's got the jokes. It's got the...
It's only, what was it, like, just under 2 hours?
Yeah, it's 98 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's just under 2 hours.
About an hour and a half.
And that's perfect. There's a couple of bits that... there are a few bits that, kids can watch this, I'd say. But there are a few bits like, the butchering of the chicken in the machine.
Yeah.
The sort of... There's sort of scary tree faces at the point where Molly's going through the forest. There's a few kind of... I'd just say it's in the tone, really, isn't it? It's in that sort of uncanny valley tone when she's in the factory and that all the chickens are really happy, but they're quite happy in kind of like a dumbfounded, dumb way. Where there's one that's just walking into the wall. There's chickens that like his mouth's full of feed. He's like, oh,
yeah. One's
like that.
I think one's trying to put a golf ball while the other chicken's head is in the hole.
Oh yeah.
So they're just kind of constantly doing that. Chickens can't use a slide.
No, can't use a slide. They're going up the slide.
Yeah.
Which is slide 101 etiquette, really.
Dr. Fry in a chicken costume.
That is scary. Human chicken. I was terrified of mascots for the longest time. And I just thought they were really weird and big animals running around. I was terrified of them. I'm over it. My fear now, obviously, because I'm 23.
You could survive Disney now. I
can survive Disney World now. Yeah, I will not be scared of Goofy when he comes up to me. Or Chuck E. Cheese. You know what? I actually think it was Five Nights at Freddy's. They got me over the fear of mascots.
Probably is.
Which is arguably weird considering the mascots are the main antagonists in them.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it. I'll stick with my rating. I'm going to give it an 8.
Okay.
Chicken Run 2. I will give it a 8 reels.
I will move mine up to 7.5.
Okay, thank you very much. The Weekly Rec.
Yours?
It is mine, and it's got to be Creature Comforts.
Yeah.
There's nothing better, I think, on Aardman. There's a Creature Comforts YouTube channel that posts the entire series of Creature Comforts, like 2 hours long, entire Creature Comforts episodes. And there's nothing better than the theme, Don't. I like it. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And we probably should play. If we're on the radio, maybe we could play it at some point. But when we do another Aardman film, because I just love the Creature Comforts theme. Yeah. It's fantastic. I love, the claymation hand. I'm just skimming through a couple of clips now, and I love the claymation hand that's holding the microphone. The fact it uses real people's dialogue.
Yep.
Not actors. These are just real people having a conversation from like Vox Pops.
Yeah.
What they did was for Creature Comforts, they just took a bunch of Vox Pops and put claymation animals talking over them.
Yep.
And I think it's fantastic. There's like seagulls, there's owls, there's dogs, there's bats, there's turtles, and a turtle and a hare has a conversation.
Yeah.
There's a crab, there's geese, there's cheetahs, there's scorpions, there's fish, there's every kind of animal is talking. There's like horses and donkeys, and the famous one. There's crows.
Yeah.
There's like cat and dog that sits on the sofa together. They're the famous characters. There's like a show pony and a gerbil and monkeys and everything, right? And the kind of conversation they have is that kind of sort of inane British chatter that is just... They'll have a topic to talk about or something. They'll have a topic to talk about. And it's just a really wholesome and intelligent show. And it's kind of... There's something remarkably human about seeing these animals talk to each other in such a way, right? And it's quite... it's really good, artful type stuff. And I'm going to give Creature Comforts Series 2... I've watched this in little bits. There is 2 hours of it
nice,
on the YouTube channel. So if you want to, fill your boots, basically, knock yourself out.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 9.
Nice, very high.
I'm going to give Creature Comforts Complete Series 2 a 9.
Very high, but very deserved.
Yeah, very, very deserved. And I've got to love Creature Comforts. It's like classic. It's classic Aardman.
It is.
It's classic Aardman. So that is what I'm going to give Creature. And it's also a bit like Chicken Run.
It is, yeah.
Because they have chickens talk in...
They do.
You can kind of see... They're not like the sort of humanised chickens you get in Chicken Run, where they've clearly got arms and legs. It's kind of like their feathers are back and they've got the neck and stuff and the beak. But it's not like the humanised chickens you get in Chicken Run. It is very animalistic chickens. But it's funny because they've got, the voice of someone from Newcastle coming out of their beak.
Yeah, why not?
Right? The voice of someone from, I don't know, Scunthorpe. They've just got along talking about whatever. But that's what I'm going to give... Creature Comfort. So we thank you very much for our first review. It's been a great one, Corey.
It has.
It's been a really fun one.
It's been a nice way to kick off being back in the studio again.
Yes, back to studio for 2024. Got a lot of great things coming.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much, Corey, for being here. It is a goodbye from me. Goodbye. And a goodbye from Corey.
Goodbye.